Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through some of the problems on the 8C assignment. First one to take a look at here is 1. Find the length of the remaining side in each triangle. So we've got an angle on the two sides. Whenever we're looking for a length here, we want to use this formula up here. This lowercase is for sides, uppercase is for angles. So we're going to want to use that. A squared equals b squared and c squared, so it's the other two sides of the triangle, so we can just do 3 squared plus 5 squared, doesn't matter what order, minus 2 times b times c, so again 3 and 5, and then cosine of the angle that's across from the side that we're looking for, because there's a, that's capital A, so the angle aside across from that side is 50. Okay, so now you can do this whole thing at once on your calculator, but let's see. Yeah, you know what? It's probably easiest just to do that. So just make sure you're super careful on what you're doing there. So 3 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 3 times 5 cosine 50 gives us 14.7. Now that's not what a is. That's what a squared is. So we've got to square root both sides to figure out what a actually is, right? So we second square root, second answer, square root our answer, and we get 3 point, let's see, let's just go with 3.8. 3.8 centimeters would be the remaining side there, okay? Next one, number 2, find the measure of the angle marked theta. So if we're looking for an angle, that's where we're going to want to use this formula here, because capital A is angle. So cosine of angle A, so this is A and this is little a. So then these other two are going to be, say, B and C. Doesn't really matter. But what does matter is the A. So cosine A equals B, which is 4 squared, plus C, which is 5 squared, minus the A squared, which is 6 squared, all over 2 times b, which is 4, times c, which is 5. Okay. Now, I'm going to highly suggest when you do this here, unless you're really good with using parentheses on your calculator, I would highly suggest calculating the top, calculating the bottom, and then recalculating. Okay. That's just going to be a really good way to make sure that you get the right answer here. 4 squared plus 5 squared minus 6 squared gives you 5, and then on the bottom we've got, well, let's see, 2 times 4 is 8 times 5 is 40. So we got cosine A of 5 over 40. So what we want to do is find that angle. So second cosine of 5 divided by 40 ends up giving us 82.8. So angle A is 82.8 degrees, rounded to the nearest tenth of a degree. Okay. All right, number 5, find the smallest angle of a triangle with sides 11, 13, and 17. So let's just do this. Let's just draw something out here. We've got 11, 13, and 17. So small, 13, 17, small, medium, and large. Okay. Now, here's something that will always be true. Across from the smallest side will be the smallest angle. So that's the angle we're going to want to look for, since we're looking for the smallest angle. Okay, so we're looking for an angle, so we're going to use this formula here. So we would do cosine of this angle A equals, so this over here is A, and we can call this B and C, or you can call that B and that C, it doesn't matter. So B is 13 squared plus 17 squared minus 11 squared, all over 2 times 13 times 17. Now, I'm going to keep saying this over and over again throughout this, but I'm going to suggest doing the top and then doing the bottom. Okay, so 13 squared plus 17 squared minus 11 squared gives us 337. Cosine A, and then 2 times 13 times 17 is going to be the bottom, which is 442. And now we're looking for an angle, right? So whenever we're looking for an angle, it's second cosine, and then we're going to do 337 divided by 442, and we get 40.3 degrees. Okay, so that one is number 5 there. Okay. Next one, number 7, a triangular sail is to be cut from a section of cloth. 2 of the sides must have length 4 and 6 as illustrated. So the bottom's 4 and this one side over here is 6. Total area for the sail has got to be 11.6 square meters. And the maximum allowed for the boat to race. The maximum allowed for the boat to race in its class. Find the angle theta between the 2 sides of the given length. So we're going to find this angle right here. So since we're looking for an angle, let's use this. Okay. Except for, you know what? They gave us, here's the thing. I'm going to back up here. They actually gave us the area. So let's actually use the area formula instead. If you remember that one, that is going to be area of a triangle is going to equal 1/2 BC sine of A, right? So this is going to be our A here, so sine of that angle. So here's the key, here's the trick here, not trick, but the key piece is that they give us the area. So this is going to be 11.6. That's going to equal 1/2. These two sides that include the angle, so that's going to be 4 times 6, all times sine of the angle that we're looking for, which is sine of theta. So let's do this. 11.6. Half of 4 is 2, times 6 is 12. Sine theta, divide both sides by 12. And we get that sine theta has to equal 11.6 over 12. So remember, when we're looking for an angle, it's always second sine of 11.6. Oops. 11.6 divide. Oh, that didn't work. I'm just making it worse. I'm going to fix it. There we go. 11.6 divide by 12. There we go. I fixed it. And that gives us that angle's got to be 75.2 degrees. Oops. Equals 75.2 degrees for 7 part A. Okay. Next one to take a look at is 10. We're just doing A. Okay, so find the value of X. So find this side right here. Okay. So let's see. We have this angle and that side across from it, and we have this side. We want to figure out what this side is here. Okay. Really, both of these formulas are derived from each other, so we can actually use either one to come up with our answer. So the thing is here, we could say it's like, oh, hey, let's use this here because we're just trying to find a side length, right? But the problem here is that cosine A, this is angle, that's angle A, and this is side A. So this is actually going to be like, say, side B, and that's going to be side C. So it'll still work. It's just going to take a little extra work, and we could do the same thing here. Let's just try this one since we already have it circled. Let's figure it out. Okay, so A in this case is 11 squared equals B squared, which in this case is X, plus C squared, which is 8, minus 2 times X times 8 cosine of 70. Okay, so yeah, this is a little trickier because we're going to have X squared and an X, but I don't think there's really any way out of doing that. This isn't going to alleviate that problem either, but that's okay. Let's just do this. So 121 is X squared plus 64 minus, let's do 2 times 8 times cosine 70. So we've got 2 times 8 cosine 70 gives us 5.47 minus 5.47x. Okay? Okay, this one is not pretty. This is definitely a trickier one. Let's do this. Let's subtract 121 from both sides. And we get 0 equals x squared. I'm going to move the x next, minus 5.47x. And then 64 minus 121 gives us negative minus 57. Okay, so now, especially with this weird decimal-y number in the middle here, we're going to probably have to use the quadratic to solve this thing. Okay, so let's do that. Quadratic is x equals negative b plus or minus a square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so now we got to plug this in. This is, again, this is a tricky one. So let's see, a is 1, b is negative 5.47, c is negative 57. So x equals negative 5.47 plus or minus negative 5.47 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 57 all over 2 times 1. Whew. So let's simplify as much of this as we can in our calculator, right? Okay, so that's going to simply be 5.47, right? Plus or minus the square root of, and the negative squared is going to go away. Well, you know, we can do, oh no, if we do that, we have to do parentheses, negative 5.47 squared. Oops. Squared. Oh, let's just try this again. So, negative 5.47 squared, that's better, minus 4 times 1 times negative 57 gives us 257.9, and then we got to square root that, right? So second square root, second answer gives us 16.06. So it's 5.47 plus or minus 16.06, and this is still all over 2. Okay? So we know that this has to be a positive, so minus isn't going to help us out. So we're going to do 5.47 plus 16.06 equals, divide by 2, and we get 10.765, which is the correct answer for that one, centimeters. Okay? Again, that's a tough one, but that's okay. Tough is good. Okay? That's really all we have for the 8C assignment. If you have any questions on any of this stuff or anything else, please feel free to ask. Thanks.